Everyone, Jason Perry here, Pastor Jason Perry with Patriot Crusader Mission. And I am very tardy this morning because my wife, who is amazing, let me sleep in this morning. So if I look a little bit more well rested, that is because my wife's amazing. So I want to thank her personally for that. And I know she is really exhausted as well, but um, I know she put herself second, and I really, really, really appreciate that. For everyone else who's wondering, um, right now I'm sitting in the sanctuary, and this Sunday is our grand opening, and I hope a lot of you can make it. Um, I really, really, really do. It's going to be a special day. It's a lot of work, about a year's worth of work coming together for us to have a sanctuary here. And you guys are a big part of that. Um, so again, um, we got so much going on right now. This whole room smells like pine, like fresh cut pine. Good morning, Scott, Lauren, Michelle. And I have a lot of work to do, and I'm doing it solo. I'm going to hang all these boards now. Reverend Joel Kavanaugh came over on Sunday. I'm not a carpenter, I'm not that guy, but he showed me how to do a lot of stuff. So he cut a lot of the boards, and I'm just going to hang them with my nail gun. And and there will be some trim issues that are not done yet, meaning there might not be quarter round everywhere, or and the ceiling definitely won't be pined yet. But I will say that the sanctuary shop will be done. And I think we can get pine on all the walls. It's just a matter of doing the trim around the doors and the trim around the windows. And the carriage doors that we want to do with the garage doors, we can't afford those yet. So once we've got some people that are going to be giving us a quote on that, and I'm hoping that they're going to come by, and hopefully it's going to be affordable. We're going to have to build the doors by custom. We want them to swing out instead of coming up and blocking the ceiling and not looking very cool. We want them to swing out with windows to add more light into here and to really make this a great place. So, but it will not feel like a garage other than we have garage doors in here temporarily. Um, but the main thing is this Sunday is going to be to celebrate all of our hard work, meaning mine and yours. You guys have been here um, for a very long time supporting this show as we evolved, right? As we evolved from kind of a self-defensey show. Well, we started as Try and Shield, which is still our security consulting and training company for active shooter and workplace violence. Um, and then I just started seeing that people were so naive in their own lives. And I'm like, man, I of course wanted to fix it with the kinetic, which was let me teach people how to be situationally aware and all these other things. And what I noticed was that so many people were just so broken and clueless and everything is that the kinetic is a portion of it, but people were so lost. And of course, the secular left wouldn't allow me to voice my opinions as a corporation on the conservative side. You can do it on the left all you want, not on the conservative side. So Lauren and I had a lot of agonizing moments before we decided to split away and make Patriot Crusader Mission, which kind of became in the beginning, if you guys recall, was kind of like a self-defense, situational aware news thing. And then the more I kept seeing it, the more churches because I was still on my journey trying to find a church over the past 3 years, and to just be disappointed by all of them. And I'm sure, I'm sure we're going to disappoint. I mean, I'm matured as a Christian to know that there is no perfect church, but they should get it right more days than they get it wrong, right? So anyways, for you guys who have evolved with us, like Brandy Hip and everyone else who has been with us for years, for years, right? And for you guys who were the first to adopt us when we went all in on Christianity and we said we're going to be a church and start teaching the Bible and doing, for you early adopters, this weekend is for you. So we're going to take pictures. We're going to, memorialize our first day. Um, we're going to memorialize our first day here. I'm going to take people around and update them on the plans because the plans have evolved as we've discovered how the land lays and how things matured and opportunities to acquire more land and all kinds of stuff are all around us right now. So, but first things first, right? And first things first is we have to build a sanctuary, start honoring the Lord here locally, and then streaming a competent product to all you guys who are here this morning, which there is not a single local here this morning, right? So I think that is primarily still going to be our focus. I want to have a home base that you guys can sit there and say, and when I build a bunch of log cabins out back, and you guys can come visit and stay here and do workshops, whether it be, how to be a Christian warrior woman, whether it's, how to have work on your marriage as husband and wives come here, whether it's mother, daughters, father, sons, or men's groups or women's groups to come here and have a place to stay and to be supported in a community that isn't dead, that doesn't suck, that you can laugh, you can have fun. You're not going to be judged on everything you do. That is really the beginning of this. And Claudia says that definitely was what I would call. I refer to that day, Claudia, the day we put the cross up was the day that we put the flare up, letting the whole world know that we were here. Right? We built, as you guys know, a 500 to 600 pound cross, and in a rainy, muddy day at the time of the year, Memorial Day last year. I mean, that's going to be our reunion day as well. We're going to have a reunion day for those who want to come to that. We're going to celebrate that week. It might not be the same day, but Memorial Day weekend. And we're going to celebrate life, and we're going to celebrate where this church is at and what he's done in everyone's life and everything. So, again, good morning, Steve. We are going to continue to march forward. So the sanctuary that we built now will fit 20 extremely comfortably, 30 tight, and probably 40 really tight, right? When the weather's nice, we open up the doors and we roll out the canopy, we can fill probably another 20 or 30 out there. It depends on what the Lord does locally on how much we're going to build sanctuaries. We may be here for years in this small sanctuary that we're in. Or we may go to phase 2, which we're already looking at, which is a giant like wedding tent out back on the property with like porta potties or a porta potty trailer, something like that, for us to be able to grow and acquire the resources we need to build the multi-million-dollar sanctuary with the 360-degree mountain views on the back. So we're trying to baby step there because I'm not wealthy. I work 3 jobs to try to keep this place going. And you guys are supportive as well. So again, we are going to continue the documenting, right? And Claudia's right. The cross photo will be there. That'll be, the day that this became something that started as a ministry. Then the day it became a real church, not doing services in our living room or around the table, but, a place of God, will be another day. And then we're just going to keep marching on, and the most important thing I wanted to show this weekend is one, progress and momentum, right? That this community will not rest until our work is done, and the Lord will tell us when our work is done. We are on the largest prisoner of war rescue mission in the history of time itself to save souls, right? And every time I put out an ad, like I put out some marketing ads here, the overwhelming need for this ministry is driven home. The likes to hate that I get is 99 point, and I'm like 993. We need this, and then a couple, usually far righters, some far lefters, um, will post something negative on there. But it's overwhelming, is what I'm saying. I could put up a sign or a post that I'm giving away free ice cream, and I would get less support. I would get more negative comments on that, and so that's something that you should all feel good about, right? Because without, even if you've never given a dollar or done anything, which most of you have, just you watching this, and on Friday when I'm completely spent and I'm out of gas and I don't want to go on air and I don't know what I'm going to say, I come on and my family, my Christian family, is waiting for me with their arms wide open, needing me as much as I need them. And I can't tell you how many times where I'll be sitting in there after a rough week and I'm like, how am I going to celebrate on Friday? And it's you guys. It's you guys that keep me going. So when I say this weekend or this Sunday is for you, of course it's for the Lord first, right? But it's for the fellowship. It's for the body of Christ, which is of the Lord, right? So it's also a great time to reset any relationships. If I don't know, you're mad at me because I farted or something at the kitchen table, or I don't know, whatever. Maybe I stepped on your toes or whatever. Our arms are always wide open here. You're always welcome home, and it is all gone as soon as you come back. So um, don't let time pass if there isn't anything there. Don't let distance acquire and don't drift off course. This weekend is a great time to reset and to recommit to one another. And we'll be doing the Lord's Supper here, doing communion and rededicating ourselves to God and to each other, right? And that's part of our holy obligation. Um, anyways, thank you for all your kind messages here. I agree with everything that's been stated here. And now here we go, right? Here we go. So we're about to see Jacob continue to degrade, and for him to now, him scheming against another schemer, Laban, and that's about to come to a head. So let's jump into this. It's relatively long. I mean, it's 55 verses. I'm going to read through it. There's not a lot of depth to it, but there is some that we can talk about this more. It's Jacob getting, it's again seeing that God is blessing Jacob in spite of Jacob, right? It's not what Jacob's doing that's having an effect on this. It's God blessing him because he's the one that has got the Abrahamic blessing from Isaac. So let me go to prayer first. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you as we do every Monday through Friday to seek your word, to seek your truth, to honor you. Lord, there is no greater purpose than we should have than to seek you. And we are here seeking with all of our will, all of our might, all of our strength, all of our heart. So, Lord, we love you. We ask that you guide this time, that it be your words and not mine, that you would silence my words that are not of you, and that you would call everyone here home to your purpose for your glory. Lord, I also ask that you pray a prayer of protection for our first responders at home, our troops overseas, and patriots around the world who are fighting for freedom right now. Lord, I pray that you give their families peace as well. And I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. And I just heard a sound. I want to make sure that my phone isn't playing in the background or anything right now. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Jacob flees from Laban. Now Jacob heard that the sons of Laban were saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what was our father's, he has gained all of his wealth. And Jacob saw that Laban did not regard him with favor as before. Then the Lord said to Jacob, return to the land of your fathers and to your kindred, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah into the field where his flock was, and said to them, I see that your father does not regard me with favor as he did before. But the God of my father has been with me. You know that I have served your father with all my strength, yet your father has cheated me and changed my wages 10 times. But God did not permit him to harm me. If he said the spotted shall be your wages, then all the flock bore spotted. If he said the stripe shall be your wages, then all the flock bore stripe. Thus God has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. In the breeding season of the flock, I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream that the goats that mated with the flock were striped, spotted, and mottled. Then the angel of God said to me in the dream, Jacob. And I said, here I am. And he said, lift up your eyes and see. All the goats that mate with the flock are striped, spotted, and mottled. For I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and made a vow to me. Now arise, go out from this land and return to the land of your kindred. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, is there any portion or inheritance left to us in our father's house? Are we not regarded by him as foreigners? For he has sold us, and he has indeed devoured our money. All the wealth that God has taken away from our father belongs to us and our children. Now then, whatsoever God has said unto you, do. So Jacob rose and set his sons and his wives on camels. He drove away all of his livestock, all of his property that he had gained, and all the property that he had gained, and the livestock in his possession that he had acquired in Padan Aram, to go to the land of Canaan to his father Isaac. Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel stole her father's household gods. And Jacob tricked Laban and Aramean by not telling them that he intended to flee. He fled with all that he had, arose and crossed the Euphrates, and set his face towards the hill country of Gilead. When it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob had fled, he took his kinsman with him and pursued him for 7 days and followed close after him into the hill country of Gilead. But God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night and said to him, be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. And Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent on the hill in the hill country, and Laban with his kinsmen pitched tents in the hill country of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, what have you done that you have tricked me and driven away my daughters like captives? Sorry, hold on, I lost my spot. He said, what have you done so that you have tricked me and driven away my daughters like captives of the sword? Why did you flee secretly and trick me and did not tell me so that I might have sent you away with mirth and songs and with tambourine and lyre? And why did you not permit me to kiss my sons and my daughters farewell? Now you have done foolishly. It is in my power to do you harm. But the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. And now you have gone away because you long greatly for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I thought that you would take your daughters from me by force. Anyone with whom you find your God shall not live. In the presence of our kinsmen, point out what I have taken that is yours and take it. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. So Laban went into Jacob's tent and into Leah's tent and into the tent of the two female servants, but he did not find them. And he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's. Now Rachel had taken the household gods and put them in the camel's saddle and sat on them. Laban felt all about the tent, but did not find them. And she said to her father, let not my lord be angry that I cannot rise before you, for the way of the woman is upon me. So he searched, but did not find the household gods. Then Jacob became angry and berated Laban. Jacob said to Laban, what is my offense? What is my sin that you have hotly pursued me? For you have felt through all my goods that you have in what have you found of all your household goods? See it here before my kinsmen, your kinsmen, that they may decide between us. Set it here, sorry, between us, our kinsmen, and they may decide between us too. These 20 years I have been with you, your ewes and your female goats have not miscarried, and I have not eaten the rams of your flocks. What was torn by wild beast I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it myself. From my hand you required it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. So let me read that again. I bore the loss of it myself. From my hand you required it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. There I was by the day, the heat consumed me, and the cold by night, and my sleep fled from my eyes. These 20 years I have been in your house. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had not been on my side, surely you now would have sent me away empty handed. God saw my affliction and the labor of my hands and rebuked you last night. Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, the daughters are my daughters, the children are my children, the flocks are my flocks. All that you see is mine. But what can I do this day for these, my daughters, or for their children whom they have borne? Come now, let us make a covenant, you and I, and let it be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. And Jacob said to his kinsmen, gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap. And they ate there by the heap. Laban called it, holy smokes, when I was listening to this on the front end, I knew I was going to bumble this word. Jagar Sahudatha. And Jacob called it Gilead. Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. Therefore he named it Gilead and Mizpah. For he said, the Lord watched between you and me when we are out of one another's sight. If you oppress my daughters, or if I take wives besides or you take wives besides my daughters, although no one of us, I'm sorry, I skipped a thing there. This writing is a little small for me. I apologize. The Lord watch between you and me, and where we are out of one another's sight. If you oppress my daughters, or if you take wives beside my daughters, although no one is with us, see, God is witness between you and me. Then Laban said to Jacob, see the heap and the pillar which I have set between you and me. This heap is a witness, and the pillar is a witness, that I will not pass over this heap to you, and you will not pass over this heap, over this pillar to me, to do harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac, and Jacob offered a sacrifice in the hill country and called his kinsmen to eat bread. They ate bread and spent the night in the hill country. Early in the morning, Laban rose and kissed his grandchildren and his daughters and blessed them. And then Laban departed and returned home. Whew, okay. All right. So as far as in this chapter, before we get to the notes, you basically see that 2 schemers have been outwitting each other this whole time along. And the only reason why Jacob is where he is because God is an unfair advantage, right? God has blessed Jacob, and no matter how Laban tried to trick him or rob him or steal from him, God has miraculously made sure that Jacob won. Okay. Now Laban is there with more men. Laban could wipe out Jacob and all of his retinue right now and take his daughters and grandchildren home. Because I'm sure that was probably his intent. The fact that God came to him in a vision the night before is what undid that. Now, you also heard in there that Rachel stole his gods, and which basically means she hasn't given up her pagan ways, or maybe she stole them for the purpose of not letting her father pray to his household gods against, use them as a weapon against her husband and her. So we'll find out more about that later. So in here, there's not much for unpacking, other than God has called him home. It was interesting to see that the daughters are also angry against their father, which actually shows that they care for their husband, even though when they're talking, it does make it sound like they have been cheated of their dowry. And if you look back in the Hammurabi Code, some of the wedding price was supposed to go, blessed day to you, one, was to go to the daughter, and been held there. You can see that devoured our money. This phrase occurs in the social context of Mesopotamian texts from Newsy. Legally, at least part of the bride price received by the father in return for giving his daughter in marriage was to be given to the daughter. So we're seeing that, which, to me, that may or not appear to be selfish. We're going to come across a challenging text coming up here in the next chapter that I'm going to tell you about. It's when Jacob, they say, wrestles with God. And you may want to do some research on this on your own. It's a challenging text, and it's one that we have to deal with. So it'd be good if you guys kind of went to some trusted sources, and maybe we could exchange ideas on the backside of the text. I will tell you where I land on it. But that's all I really have for today. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see Sunday's message. Sunday's message was on Matthew 2, which is historically one of the texts that people read on Christmas Eve when they want to be all, happy and bubbly. I took it in a different direction. I focused on being an obedient guardian and the persecution of the church as what happened to the children in Bethlehem. So it's, I think it's worth listening to. It may not have been my best. That's for you guys to decide. But I think it's something that you need to understand that if you watch the show, I believe you're called to be a guardian of some form, whether it's guardian of your family, guardian of your country, your community, your church. I mean, that's kind of what we're about. So it's kind of an important sermon for you to go back and watch. So that's all I have for you today, guys. Again, sorry that I was late. I got workout to do. I got the Hope Report to do at 1. What time is it now? So I got the Hope Report to do and 39 minutes, and I got to do a sound check in 9 minutes. So I really got to go. God bless you. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.